He had pushed through every wall the world put in front of him, until the day his body stopped letting him. His name was Marcus. 12 years as a competitive athlete turned corporate executive, the kind of man who measured his worth in output, hours worked, miles run, weight lifted, deals closed. When something wasn't working, he had one answer: more. Push harder, sleep less, demand more from the machine, and for years the machine delivered. Until one morning at 41 years old, Marcus sat in his car in the parking garage of his office building and could not make himself open the door. Not because he was sad, not because he was afraid, because something fundamental had broken. The engine that had powered every achievement of his adult life had finally seized up completely, and no amount of pushing was going to start it again. His doctor called it burnout. His coach called it overtraining syndrome. A former Delta Force operator he met at a private event 3 months later called it something different. He called it the most predictable outcome of the most dangerous lie ever sold to high performers in the civilian world. The lie that more effort always produces more result. Here is what the research actually shows, and what Delta Force training doctrine figured out decades before the civilian world caught up. The human performance system is not a machine that produces more output when you add more input. It is a biological organism governed by a principle that the military calls supercompensation, and that most driven people spend their entire careers violating without ever knowing the principle exists. When you push your body and mind through a demanding effort, physical, cognitive, or emotional, you are not building strength in that moment. You are creating damage. Controlled, productive damage. But damage nonetheless. The strength, the resilience, the elevated performance does not happen during the effort. It happens during the recovery that follows. The body and brain, sensing that they were pushed beyond their previous capacity, rebuild themselves slightly stronger than before in anticipation of the next demand. This is supercompensation, and it has one non-negotiable requirement. Recovery must actually happen. When you push again before recovery is complete, when you add more effort on top of unresolved damage, you are not building on a stronger foundation. You are building on a broken one. Performance doesn't plateau, it degrades. And the harder you push against a system that hasn't recovered, the faster and more completely it collapses. Delta Force selection and training is arguably the most demanding human performance program ever systematically designed. And built into its core, in ways that surprised the civilian researchers who first studied it, was a recovery architecture as sophisticated as its training demands. Operators were not pushed continuously, they were pushed precisely. And between each push, recovery was not optional, it was mission critical. Right now, I want to know who is watching this with me. Drop your city or state in the comments. And tell me, have you ever pushed so hard for so long that you ended up performing worse than when you started? A period where more effort produced less result, and you couldn't understand why? Drop it below, because what you experienced had a name, and it wasn't weakness. The neuroscience behind this goes deeper than muscle fiber and cortisol levels. What happens inside the brain when chronic effort overload is sustained without adequate recovery is a process that military researchers documented with disturbing precision. And that explains why the most driven people in any field are often the ones whose performance collapses most dramatically. The prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for strategic thinking, impulse control, emotional regulation, and the kind of high-level decision-making that separates elite performance from average performance, is extraordinarily sensitive to recovery debt. Under normal conditions, sleep and genuine rest periods allow the prefrontal cortex to clear metabolic waste, consolidate learning, and restore full function. When those recovery windows are consistently shortened or eliminated by the push-harder mentality, the prefrontal cortex begins operating on progressively diminishing capacity. The cruel irony is that one of the first functions to degrade is self-awareness. The brain loses the ability to accurately assess its own performance level. You feel like you are pushing hard and producing results. The data tells a different story. And because the very system responsible for reading the data is the system that's compromised, you push harder still. It is a collapse that accelerates itself. Delta operators were trained to recognize this pattern in themselves and in the operators beside them before it reached the point of system failure. The monitoring was not motivational. It was neurological. Real-time assessment of cognitive function, reaction time, and decision quality used as indicators of recovery status. Not how tired you feel, how well your brain is actually working. The civilian world was never given this framework, because a workforce that understands supercompensation is a workforce that demands recovery. And recovery is not something that the productivity culture industry was ever designed to sell. Here is what Marcus learned from that Delta operator in the 3 months that followed their conversation. Not a new training program, not a harder protocol. The opposite. A recovery system built on the same neuroscience that special operations used to keep operators performing at elite levels across careers that would have destroyed anyone following the civilian push-through model. At the center of that system was a principle so simple it sounds almost offensive to anyone who has spent years believing that suffering is the price of achievement. The brain recovers fastest when it accesses a specific neurological state, a frequency band that is neither the unconscious depth of sleep nor the active effort of waking performance, a state that exists in the space between, slow enough to allow genuine cellular and cognitive restoration, active enough to remain accessible without hours of meditative practice. Theta, 4 to 8 cycles per second. The frequency at which the brain consolidates learning from effort, clears the metabolic waste that accumulates during intense cognitive work, and rebuilds the prefrontal function that chronic overeffort systematically degrades. Delta research identified theta access as the single highest leverage recovery input available to the human system, more efficient than additional sleep in certain contexts, more restorative than passive rest, and accessible in a fraction of the time required by conventional recovery approaches. Marcus spent 7 minutes accessing this state before his most demanding work sessions, not as a warm-up ritual, as a neurological recovery protocol. The science behind it is called brainwave entrainment, the documented phenomenon in which the brain synchronizes its dominant electrical frequency with external audio patterns engineered at precise intervals. Present the right frequency, and a brain locked in the chronic beta overdrive of push-harder culture begins to shift into theta. The recovery process that was being denied by relentless effort becomes available on demand. This is what Genius Wave was built on. 7 minutes of precisely engineered audio frequency, the same entrainment science that military recovery research identified as the fastest, reliable pathway into the brain state where real restoration happens. Not a supplement, not a mindset shift. A neurological input that gives the brain what chronic effort has been systematically denying it. The link is in the first pinned comment below this video. A full video explanation and a written breakdown of the science are both there. Marcus went from a parking garage he couldn't make himself leave to running a team that outperforms every benchmark his industry tracks. The effort didn't change. The recovery did. And that single variable changed everything. Because nobody told you that pushing through pain was destroying your performance. Delta Force figured it out decades ago. Now you have the same information.